Hi there, I'm Karen Kennedy with Real Food Matters, and today we're cooking with Ethiopian kale. Now, recently my friend Carolyn at Yacolt Farm and Nursery, she started growing this and she asked me to do a video to give her customers some ideas of how to cook with this. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to try. This kale is new to me as well. But, you know, whenever you're cooking with any kind of greens, I would call these sort of sturdy greens. Sturdy as opposed to spinach, which is really tender, you know, just wilts in a heartbeat. So there's a couple of ways you can cook with these. One is you can put them directly in your food like a stir fry and cook them for a while. But depending on how sturdy they are, they might take a while. So especially with things like collard green and the regular kale that we're used to, I always boil that in advance. I always boil that in advance to help make the greens more tender. And then when I want to put them in my dish, they'll be all ready to go and I don't have to overcook all the other ingredients. Yeah? So you can put them in directly and cook them for a long time, or you can kind of blanch them, and then after you blanch them, they're ready to get tossed into your food. And today I'm going to show you how to blanch them, because this is what you'll do with all your greens when you're cooking with kale or collards or Ethiopian kale. It can be also a really good method if you get your greens at like a farmer's market or from a farm stall, because often you'll end up with a really big bag or a big bunch of kale that doesn't fit in your fridge, or it might go a bit manky before you're ready to use it. And I use this blanching to reduce the size of it. I'll get it all prepped and blanched, and then it ends up being a very small bundle that will keep well in my refrigerator for a longer period of time, one, and two, it takes up a lot less space in my refrigerator. So what I've done, you can see over here, is I've got a pot of water and it's onto a boil, and I've just taken this kale off the stems. So when you get the Ethiopian kale, you'll get a bunch that looks like this. And I just took the leaves off the tough stem. So, and then I rinse them, but you don't have to actually wash them, because when you blanch it, you're going to boil them and give them a good rinse. So you can put them in dirty and save the stuff. So I'm just going to put them in here. And I'm not going to cook them for very long. How long these cook for really depends on how tough the green is. So if this was collard greens or really tough kale, they'd probably cook for about 5 minutes, but I don't think these are going to take quite as long. And how you tell is if you take a leaf out and if it's tender and sweet, then it's ready, and these aren't ready. Okay. But what I'm going to do today is actually super easy. I'm just going to blanch these greens, and then I'm going to make a simple dressing that I think tastes great. And I'm just going to put the dressing over the blanched greens. That's it. No more cooking. So once you've already blanched them, if you have them in the fridge, then all you have to really do is make this dressing and toss in your greens, which is awesome. Okay. I just turned off my heat because... Okay, those are really tender, and they're still bright green. So I'm going to take these over to my sink and get out of the way of the camera. Okay, I've given that kale a rinse in the sink, and I rinsed it under cold water until it was cool to the touch so that it would stop cooking. And then I squeezed it out. I squeezed all the liquid out, and look what I'm left with. That is what it's trying to. So cook way more greens than you think you'll want, because it will really shrink down. And so what I do with this, so this is what you could put, you know, a little bowl like this, you can put this right in a container in a refrigerator till you're ready to use it. So that's a space saver. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chop through this. For this video, I just used about half the kale, because I want the other half to put into a vegetable soup that I'm going to make tomorrow. So I'm going to chop that up in small pieces. Now for the dressing, what I've done is I've heated up this pan to medium heat, and now I'm just going to put a couple of ingredients in here to make a really nice dressing. One is toasted sesame oil, and I like the Spectrum brand. This is a really flavorful oil. Too hot. And I'm going to put equal amounts. I'm just going to put about a tablespoon of each. Maple syrup. And you can put extra maple syrup, depends how sweet you want it. And then I'm going to add, if you have some hot chili oil, you can add hot chili oil, about a teaspoon of that. But what I'm going to do, because I don't have it, is I'm going to put some of this sambal chili paste in there to make it spicy. And then I'm going to add a couple healthy pinches of sea salt. And then stir in my greens. And I'm just stirring these to coat them. Right, so I've got a nice side here. And now, earlier on, I toasted some sesame seeds. And I'm just going to sprinkle some of these toasted sesame seeds over that. Okay. So this is the side dish, a really simple side dish of chili greens made with Ethiopian kale. And you can make this with spinach. You can just wilt a little bit of spinach and make it with this dressing. You can use your Ethiopian kale. You can do it with collard greens, or you can use it with regular kale. All right? So thanks for watching.